Now, what about China? Whereas we know the Prime Minister will be heading off there in a few weeks and months' time, and it'll be hailed a great victory because he's the one who hopefully will be able to get rid of many of the tariffs that were put on us. But can we all just sit in unison, the three of us here, and call out China for their propaganda outfit, the Global Times, who said all of this was our fault? Now, that is the bully who decided to put the foot on our neck, the one who decided to try to make an example of us to the rest of the Western world as a proxy for the United States about what happens when you displease China. Now, here's the reality when, again, I hope this is what the Prime Minister can get out of the deal. That most likely is what's going to end up happening. But, Stephen, some of the arrogance of the Chinese mouthpiece is pretending it was Australia's fault. It was either the wet market in Wuhan or it was the Institute of Virology in Wuhan. It was China's decision to lock off domestic flights but keep the international ones going. And when little old Australia said, hang on, can we actually learn about what happened here? Because God forbid it happens again. This thing killed millions of people. Yet China says it's our fault for calling them out.
Look, I mean, China are going through the pantomime of still saying the same things while actually backing down for a whole variety of reasons. I mean, they wanted to hurt Australia. They wanted to hurt Australia's farmers, Australia's producers. And unfortunately for them, what's happened is that, you know, we've actually come through it really well. You know, there's been some tough individual areas, but in general, the prices we've been able to get for our products in other markets have actually been very good. And so China have actually scored a massive own goal. I mean, it's like the coal issue. They cut off our coal a while back. It was poor quality or whatever the rubbish reason was. They started to freeze to death over in China during their winter, and then they had to do a round robin, get someone else to buy the coal for them so they could buy our coal off a third party so they didn't look like they were buying our coal. So they have scored a string of own goals. At the end of the day, Xi doesn't care about how his people are suffering because of his behaviour.
Correct.
But what they've got to do is continue this pantomime that they're winning. They have scored own goal after own goal after own goal. And when they inevitably back down with the Prime Minister's visit, yes, the Labor Party, the Labor government, we've maintained the tough line in defence and national security. We've been able to walk our way through this and get the outcomes that are good. But at the end of the day, this is China backing down because China have got it drastically wrong and scored own goals, and it's humiliating for them. Yeah. So don't fall for their line that it's our fault. They are humiliated by this outcome.
No, I've never fallen for their line, quite the opposite. All right, and I'd love to go and visit a dear friend of mine in Hong Kong, but I'm not going to risk the visa application process anytime soon. All right, now, before I get to you, Matt, and again, a version of the same question.
Can I just say something of this, though? Can I just say quickly, God, I wish Stephen Conroy was back in the Australian Senate because what we just heard from him is not something we hear much anymore.
I'll take him over Richard Marles as the Defence Minister any day.
They in the Senate, they're like saying, thank you, Xi, thank you for taking our tariffs off, which you imposed illegally. That last bit's never said, but Stephen, thank you for saying that as a Labor person.